we're here in between weeks 2
we're
and 3.
We're here and you're there.
We're here, you're there. I'm better than you. We're all sitting here between hours 1 and 2, and also days 3 and 4 of the NFL weeks 2 and 3. I'm going up and down the line here, and we've got backup quarterbacks everywhere.
So many backups
everywhere. As a matter of fact, what once upon a time was J.J. McCarthy hosting Joe Burrow is now Carson Wentz hosting Jake Browning. It's a backup quarterback versus backup quarterback. And Carson Wentz was added to the mix late in the summer from Minnesota. We've got Mac Jones potentially starting for a second week in a row.
Mac 10.
For San Francisco.
Mac Jones.
And then you also have Tyrod Taylor. Now I'm going to get this.
Oh, yeah.
He back.
For the New York Jets. Justin Fields beaten up in week 2 by the Buffalo Bills. It's sort of an avatar for the entire Jets team with what the Buffalo Bills did to the Jets.
It's a backup palooza.
And Aaron Glenn, moments ago, shortly before we went on the air, had this to say about Justin Fields currently in the concussion protocol.
When it comes to injuries, one person that I can just say out right now would be Justin. He's still going through his protocol, right? So he'll be out.
So, well, that was a quick. Oh, by the way, our starting quarterback is definitely out for week 3 against Tampa Bay, and it's Tyrod Taylor. So there's that.
Okay.
And by the way, all eyes on Dan Quinn today in Washington D.C. To see if there's going to be such an announcement for Jaden Daniels, who finished that game on Thursday night. And everybody asked him after the game, "Are you okay?" He says, "Yeah, I'm fine." And then yada, 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 he's an MRI, and everybody starts reporting in the NFL media world he might not play this week against the Las Vegas Raiders, which means all of Tom Brady's scouting goes out the window. I'm facetious, everybody. As you can tell, I'm in a touch of a mood to start today's program.
But why?
So here we go. Backup quarterbacks galore. And by the way, I have I'm very surprised by this. And I guess I'm learning now that we're in the world of our friends in the Walt Disney Company and ESPN and all the manner of shows. I'm surprised that my take that the Bengals season is not over is potentially hot. I'm a little surprised by that, or at least it's been picked up in a way.
Season is not over.
It is not over.
Well, you're losing a top what? What do you put Burrow? 4,
Understand.
3, and he's out for basically the season.
I understand.
And you got a backup who hasn't played a lot, only 7 games.
Jake Browning started 7 games in the season the last time that Joe Burrow couldn't finish it. Okay,
2023.
Right, and the team finished 9-8. Which, unfortunately for the Bengals, was good enough for last place in the division. Everybody else crushed it, including the Browns, who made the playoffs and got one and done with Joe Flacco, if you recall. And so everybody else made the playoffs. And so why would anybody be surprised if that team that went 9-8 and Browning finished 4-3 and they started 0-2? And we're at 500 after 6 weeks. Why would anybody be surprised if Jake Browning goes 1 game over 500? That's 10-7 the rest of the way. 10-7 might make the playoffs. Season is not over. And Browning, has had similar stats to Joe Burrow. The difference is Burrow is an assassin when it comes to the playoffs. I don't know if Browning's got that in him. I guess the way that I'm laying it out with the Bengals and Jake Browning, I'm saying we're going to find out, because the defense through 2 weeks does appear to be somewhat improved, and that's still Chase, who got $160 in the game in which Burrow went out in the second quarter, and Higgins got his, and Chase Brown's going to get his, and it'll be a different offense in a way. Some of the numbers that I've read, because I'm a lead pipe wielding professional who studies, there's a lot more screen passes with Browning than Burrow, that there's a lot of that action that might be more into play. And Chase Brown appears to be a guy that you're going to have to chase down in those situations. If everybody stays healthy, and that's a big if, and Browning goes one game over 500 the rest of the way, that's 10-7. And maybe Burrow comes back. And what happens then?
Yeah, that was my next question.
He sits on the bench.
No, he does not, sir.
I mean, you got a guy who played all season and takes you to the playoffs.
Got it.
And you're like, see ya?
Pretty much.
The Giants didn't do that with Jeff Hostetler and Phil Simms.
I got it, but they still went to the Super Bowl.
And won it with the backup.
Yeah. And I know that happened, and speaking of Tom Brady, back in the day with the main quarterback having a 9-figure contract like the current one has.
I think the difference between that, Rich, is Hostetler and Sims' skill sets are closer than Burrow and his backups.
No, I understand what the analogies are, and I understand, and there's a if is doing a very heavy lift in this conversation right now. I'm just saying the season's not over in Cincinnati. That the guy, when you look at what Jake Browning did in 2003, he had 23. He had three part in 2023. You have 300-yard games, 3 of them. The weapons are there. Just protect them and let them go to work and see if I'm right. I'm happy to be, obviously right. But if I'm wrong, I'll just raise my hand and go on with my life.
Coach.
I think the wildest thing to me is you being surprised that, you got power in these streets. You're hot in these streets right now, Rich.
Okay.
Come on now, man.
I'm just, again, surprised that, again, in a league that more than any other team sports league, maybe anywhere on planet Earth, personifies that you never know, you can't make it up. After 2 weeks, a team's 2-0, and then a guy who went 4-3 in a 7-game stint as a backup might have to start, 12 games. And if he does have to start, let's just say the rest of the way, 15 games, and he goes 8-7 in those games, they're 10-7, which might be good enough to be a wild card start. That's all. Hey, you made it all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Check us out every single day streaming live on Disney Plus and the ESPN app 12 to 3 Eastern.